Where did the Sabbath come from? And in fact, where did the week come from at all? We know that the days of the week are very clear. The days of the week are numbered according to Roman gods and goddesses. Sunday for the sun, Monday for the moon. Wednesday is actually miércoles in Spanish, Mercury. Obviously, these days were named for the planets and Roman gods and goddesses, Saturn and etc. We know what a day is. The day is the amount of time that the earth rotates on its axis in relation to the sun. That's pretty simple, isn't it? The earth turns on its axis, it's facing the sun, then it faces away from the sun, then it faces the sun again. That's called day and night and day. We know that's easy. A month is the amount of time it takes the moon to rotate around the earth. We call it a month, named after the moon. So when the moon is actually behind the earth completely and the earth is shielding the sunlight, that's called a new moon. But when the moon is fully in the sunlight, that's called a full moon. So that's a month. We know that the amount of time it takes the earth to rotate and tilt on its axis toward and away from the sun creates what we call seasons. When North America is sloped toward the sun, that's summer for us. When it's sloped away from the sun, that's winter for us, and vice versa for the southern hemisphere. So the seasons come from the tilt of the earth toward and away from the sun. We know that a year comes when the earth rotates completely around the sun on its axis. It takes one full year for that to go from. So we got your day, we've got your month, we've got your season, we've got your years, but where did the 7-day week come from? There is no astronomical explanation for this. There's only one place that the Sabbath comes from and the weekly cycle comes from. It's Genesis chapter 1 and 2. God created the earth, shaped the earth in 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. And Genesis chapter 2 says, "Thus the heavens and the earth were completed and all their hosts. And the 7th day God completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his works which he had created and made." So God did several things on this day. He rested. He ceased from working. He stopped creating. He took a break. Then he blessed it. And he then did something that's really interesting. He sanctified it. He sanctified it. This is basically the Hebrew term sanctify or holy, to make holy. He blessed it and made it holy. How does a holy God make something holy? When God said to Moses from the burning bush, "Take off your shoes, you're standing on holy ground." Why was that ground holy? Because God was there. That ground is not holy still. God is not still manifesting himself at the burning bush in Sinai Peninsula. The Holy Land is not really the Holy Land. It's just land. When God invests himself in something, that makes it holy. That makes it holy. Here in this passage, we find that God actually invested this 24-hour period with a special outpouring of his presence. What makes the Sabbath holy? Because God created it and then poured himself into these hours to commune with us. Exodus chapter 20, verses 8 through 11 is the commandment. And it tells us where the Sabbath came from. It says, "Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy, for in 6 days the Lord God created the heavens and the earth and sea and all that is in them, but he rested on the 7th day." So the very foundation of the Sabbath day is in creation itself. So we worship on the Sabbath because it memorializes God's creative power. In other words, God did something for humanity that humanity could not do for itself. We rest in something that he did and we had no part in.